Are you able to see this interface, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So welcome back. This is lecture number 23, and in today's lecture I am going to talk about the observer design. So I have written an introduction to observers. It means that I am just going to talk about the ideas, and in next lecture, once you become mature with the introduction to observer, then I will shift to sliding mode observer. So let us first try to understand the problem of observer design. So in order to understand that problem, again, what I am going to do, I am going to take very simple system. So I am going to take any second order system. You can take x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to u. So first you can see that in this particular system, I haven't considered any kind of disturbance, and you can relate like this also. I have certain kind of vehicle. So this particular vehicle is moving from some point to this point, and suppose that I have certain kind of arrangement to measure the position of this particular car. Suppose this is our car, and I have started this car at t equal to t0, and I am here at t equal to tf. Now I am assuming that mass of this particular car is unity. So m equal to 1 without loss of generality. I am assuming there is no friction. And what I am going to assume that whatever path that is traveled by this car, that is two time differentiable, and due to that reason I can apply the Newton's law. So mass into acceleration. So acceleration is two time differentiation of position is xt. I am assuming from here to here, and after that, that is equal to force. So I am assuming that some force is actually applied by this car, due to that reason that is able to move from point A to point B, and that force is u. So this is the mathematical model of this car. Since mass is unity, due to that reason x double dot multiply with unity. And if you assume that x equal to x1, that is position equal to x1, and velocity, that is x dot, that is equal to x2, then you can see that this particular second order differential equation can be represented by this kind of first order differential equation. So I have second order system. Now what I am assuming that in this particular system I have just information of position. So output y equal to x1. It might possible someone may assume that I have some kind of measuring instrument which is just able to measure the velocity of the system. At that time I might have information of x2. In some case I can assume that I have both information of x1 and x2. At that time basically we are writing like this 1 0 0 1, and here I have x1 x2. So you can see here in this particular representation y that this is 2 cross 2 matrix, this is 2 cross 1 matrix. So finally this is 2 cross 1 matrix. So I have two different measurement, and I can also write this measurement like x1 and x2. So I have three different kind of situation. In first situation, what I am assuming that I have information of all states, means position as well as velocity. In second place, I am assuming that just position information is available. Second place, I am assuming that just velocity information is available. Now what is our aim? Our aim is to design control such that I can able to move this car from this point to this point. And or you can also state problem like this, that I am here, so I am moving with some initial velocity x0, and now I have to stop this car at this point. So initially I have some velocity like x0, and I have x0 dot, and here what is our idea? I have to make xt equal to 0 and x dot t also equal to 0, at least asymptotically. So for that we have already seen that since there is no disturbance and if both states are available, then I can design the state feedback controller. So I can design u, that is a state feedback, that is k1 multiplied by x1, that is position, minus k2 multiplied by x2. Now if you see the closed loop dynamics, then I have x1 dot equal to x2, and after that I have x2 dot equal to minus k1 x1 minus k2 x2. So now could you please tell me how to select k1 and k2 such that x1? So what is our objective? Objective is x1 and x2 both tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity. So could you please tell me how to select k1 and k2? Anyone? Have you able to observe this problem before or not?
If that equals to AX form and then lambda value will be.
So using
Sir,
okay, please go ahead.
so K1, K2 should be positive and such that the eigenvalues of A matrix are real, different, and negative.
Yeah. So in that way, I can select k1 and k2. So I have well established method to select at least one pair of gains such that I can able to fulfill this objective. Now try to assume the second situation. Second situation, that I have just information of x1 and I am assuming that I have not any way to measure the second information. So I am assuming that I have just information of x1. You can also able to write this like this: 10 multiplied by x1 x2. So
Sir, is it like observability test, controllability test that we have done in?
now let us see. After that I will come to the controllability and observability. First try to understand the problem. What is difficulty? Why we have to go for observability and controllability? First we are trying to understand the problem. Okay. So what I am telling, that initially I have both state. I have information of all state. It means that I know everything about the system. Now I have to design the control, state feedback control. And most of time, if all informations are available, then one can able to design the control. That is guaranteed. There are several different methodology. Either you can choose proportional controller, PI controller, PID controller, sliding mode controller, optimal controller, or adaptive controller. But now try to restrict yourself. Why I am restricting? Because you can see that in this particular system, in this car example, if I am assuming that I have realistic information in real time, I have information of position and velocity, it means that I need two sensors. How basically we are measuring some kind of output? Using some kind of sensors. So I require two sensors in order to measure the real-time position as well as real-time velocity. So, and if you see the sensor, or if you see the theory of sensors, then most of time sensors are too much costly. Second important thing, that it always require lot of maintenance of sensors, and due to that reason what different kind of things comes into picture, that how to minimize number of sensors. So how to obtain desired performance, or how to observe all states, or how to know about all states of system just by putting minimum number of sensors, that is basically idea of observability. Saptiv, are you able to understand the idea of observability?
Yes, sir.
So mathematically people are just checking the rank of matrix, but they are not able to understand why they are doing that. Main idea that I have some system, and most of time what happens that sensor or placing sensor is also difficult. Suppose you have certain kind of nuclear reactor and you want to know the temperature inside the core of nuclear reactor. So you have to make those kind of sensors which can sustain at the thousand. You can imagine that how much hot inside the core of nuclear reactor. So you are unable to place sensors there. So several time problem is that even if I have sensor but I cannot place inside the realistic system. Second thing, that maintenance of sensors is also very costly. Third thing is that sensors can also increase the dynamics of the system. So if you are putting more sensors, it means that your system become quite complicated. Due to that reason, we have to put minimum number of sensors. And if you have linear system, then Kalman has given one way to decide how many minimum number of sensors are required to observe all states of the system, just knowing the fewer number of state, and that is nothing but idea of observability. What is meaning of controllability? Meaning of controllability is that if you have certain kind of system, then is it possible to design control such that you are able to move your system from one point to another point. So if that is possible, it means that system is controllable. And from this particular example, you are able to understand that when this thing is possible, when this is not possible. So due to that reason, I have started with very simple example. So up to here, anyone has confusion? Anyone?
No, sir.
So now try to understand the
No, sir.
difficulty. So difficulty is that I have just information of position y equal to x1, that is position. Now I am going to first design the control. So again I have system, so I have selected the system and my system is again the same. So now x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to, so could you please tell me that what is u now? What kind of u are able to select now? Just I am going to use the proportional
K1 X1, only K1 X1.
K1 X1. Why? Because X2
Because
is
X2 is not observable.
X2 is not available, and due to that
Yes.
reason I am assuming that I have this kind of system. Now try to see that is it possible to design some kind of gain K1 such that again same objective is satisfied. If that is possible, then I can design just this kind of control and I will happy with only one sensor, that position sensor, some kind of sensor which is going to measure the position. So that is enough. So let us try to see the closed loop dynamics. So if you see the closed loop dynamics, so I can also express this system like x dot. I am telling that already we have used x dot for other purpose. Due to that reason, you can use something like z dot equal to, now here I have something like 0 1 and this is minus k1 0, and here I have z and I am assuming that z is nothing but x1 x2, this kind of things I have. Now try to see this dynamics. So if all eigenvalue of this is strictly real, strictly negative and real, then I can conclude that x1 and x2 both tending towards 0. We have already seen this point. We have just discussed about this. So first try to check the eigenvalue of this particular matrix. I have defined this matrix as A, and if you see the eigenvalue of this matrix A, eigenvalue of A, so could you please tell me that what is the eigenvalue? Here you can see that I have lambda square and plus k that equal to 0. So lambda is nothing but plus minus ik, square root of k. Anyone has confusion on this? Anyone has confusion? Here, in order to calculate the eigenvalue, you can take this quantity on this side, and after that you can take a square root. And this is k1 particularly. Now you can see one more thing. It might possible that someone of you might think that I will select k1 as a positive. Due to that reason, what happens that this become negative, and after that in this side this is positive. At that time you can see that I have problem. What kind of problem I have? If k1 is positive, if I select k1 positive here, it means that minus of k1, that is positive. So if I select this value as a positive, then one eigenvalue is positive, because, or try to understand like this. After, if I will write, then things become more transparent. What I am telling, if I select k1 such that this kind of things comes into picture, then you can see that I have this kind of situation. So one of the eigenvalue is positive. Then is it possible to stabilize this system if one eigenvalue is positive?
No,
So
no.
what is behavior? At least about that eigenvalue, my system dynamics is going to diverge, and due to that reason, I cannot select those value of k1 where minus k1 is positive. So now I have only one choice. I can take minus k1, and it means that I am applying the negative feedback. I am not going to apply the positive feedback. So this is example of negative feedback. Now try to analyze this dynamics. Whatever dynamics I have here, you can see here in this particular dynamics, I have some kind of complex number. So now we try to understand that whenever we have certain kind of complex number, then what kind of property basically comes into picture, particularly for the any linear system. So I am going to select very simple system. Suppose that simple system I am going to take, that is x dot equal to ax, and what I am going to assume that eigenvalue of a is of this form, alpha plus minus j beta. Could you please tell me that why plus minus I have written? Plus minus j
No,
beta.
always in pair should
Yeah.
be.
Whenever complex number is going to occur, that is going to occur in pair. And here, without loss of generality, I am assuming that alpha and beta, whatever. So alpha might be positive, negative, but beta, I can fix the sign of beta. So you can assume that beta greater than 0, and alpha might be greater than or less than equal to 0. That doesn't matter for me. Now whenever I have this kind of system, then you can see that I can define some kind of transformation, and that transformation, because if I have a strictly negative eigenvalue, then you might have seen that I am defining z equal to tx and z dot equal to tx dot, and after that what I am doing, I am substituting x dot equal to a into x, and after that t inverse into z. I have this kind of expression, and after that what we are telling, if that is strictly negative, both eigenvalue is strictly positive or negative, then at that time I can able to write like this: 0, lambda 1 and z. But now here situation is little bit different. Situation is that I have complex eigenvalue. So whenever you have complex eigenvalue, at that time transformation is little bit different. Because why transformation is looks like this, you can see that from here it is very clear that a matrix, whatever eigenvalue, original eigenvalue of a matrix, we want to find those kind of transformation which is not going to alter that eigenvalue. That is the physical interpretation. So similar kind of things I am going to do for complex case also. So what I am going to do, I am going to define some kind of transformation T such that here eigenvalue I am going to select like this: alpha minus beta and alpha, and after that I have Z. So what I am telling, that in this case T a T inverse of this form. So could you please now check that what is eigenvalue of this particular matrix alpha, alpha, beta minus beta? What is eigenvalue of this matrix T a T inverse? Anyone? You can see that if I write like this, then eigenvalue in this particular case can be written like this, that is lambda minus alpha square and here plus beta equal to 0. So from here also it is clear that I have something, this is beta square j beta, and due to that reason I have defined TAT inverse like this, because TAT inverse, if you see the original eigenvalue of this matrix, so that is like this, alpha plus minus j beta. And what we are claiming, that after defining some transformation I am not going to change the eigenvalue of this matrix. Due to that reason I have selected like this. Anyone has confusion on this? Anyone? And that is consistent with this notion. You can see that in this particular case, if both eigenvalue is distinct and real, then I can select this kind of transformation. Now I have complex, then I can select this kind of transformation. Now try to understand or analyze the dynamics. So here I am assuming that I have x, that is x1 and x2. I am just considering the two-dimensional system. So in this case, Z after transformation, this is Z1, Z2. So from here, I can able to write Z1 dot equal to alpha Z1 minus beta Z2, and Z2 dot equal to beta Z1 plus alpha Z2. So please write it. So I am going to write like this. Now I can able to write that Z1 dot equal to alpha Z1 minus beta Z2, and at the same time I can also able to write Z2 dot equal to alpha Z1 plus beta Z2. So what I have done, I have just put the, in place of Z1 dot I have put Z1 dot and Z2 dot, and after that I have just do the matrix multiplication. So I have this kind of
So beta Z1
Z1,
plus
Z1
alpha
minus
Z.
plus alpha Z2. Yes.
what happens.
Beta Z1 alpha
The
Z2.
second equation, sir.
Okay, second equation. Okay, so I will change it. So this is beta Z1 and after that plus alpha Z2. Am I right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what I am going to do, since this is second order equation, and what is our aim? Most of time our aim is to convert second order equation into first order equation, and if we are able to achieve that objective, then things become pretty clear, because in one dimension everything is very much clear, geometrically very much transparent. And due to that reason, now you can see that after transformation also I have coupling between Z1 and Z2, and due to that reason I am going to convert this system in some kind of equivalent system, such that that will convert it into one dimension, and for that I am going to use the polar coordinate. So I am going to define r square equal to z1 square plus z2 square, and here you can see that since whenever I am writing x dot equal to ax, at that time I have certain kind of initial condition x0. After transformation also z0 has some kind of initial condition like z0. One more thing, whenever we are talking about polar coordinate, at that time I am expressing everything in terms of some kind of radial vector and angle also. So I am assuming that angle tan theta is z2 by z1. In this way we are actually now, so I have two axes, z1 and z2, and actually z1 and z2 actually I am not assuming that z1 and z2 both are perpendicular, just you can assume that I have this some kind of notion like this. So now r square z1 square plus z2 square. Now what I am going to do, I am going to take differentiation of Z1 and Z2. So if you take the differentiation of Z1 and Z2, at that time you can see that now I have 2 R dot, and after that 2 Z1 dot plus 2 Z2 into Z2 dot. So I have this kind of expression. Now you know what is Z1 dot, so you can substitute Z1 dot from here, and it is possible to show that 2 and 2 is going to cancel, so these 2 from both sides, and after that Z1 dot equal to alpha Z1, so alpha Z1 square minus beta Z1, so minus beta Z1 Z2, and after that if you substitute Z2 here, then beta Z1 Z2, so I have beta Z1 Z2 and here minus beta Z1 Z2, so that is going to cancel out, and after that I have alpha Z2 square. So I am just going to write the result directly, that RR dot is nothing but alpha Z1 square plus alpha Z2 square. So please just verify this calculation, and after that now you can see that alpha Z1 square plus Z2 square, we already know, we have already defined, that is R square. So finally what happens, I have dynamics, that is RR is going to cancel out, so R dot equal to alpha R. So now you can see here in this particular notation, since Z1 belongs to R, Z2 belongs to R, so due to that reason R square also belongs to R, and due to that reason R belongs to R, so I can perfectly tell that R, whatever R that is positive, and R belongs to R plus only. So I have one dimension. Now try to see the angle. So this is about the radial vector. Now angle, so I am going to take differentiation, so this is sec square theta, and now after that I have theta dot, so this is Z1 and Z2 dot minus I have Z2 into Z1 dot by Z1 square, and in place of sec square theta, if you substitute 1 plus tan square theta, then I have Z2 square by Z1 square, because sec square theta is 1 plus tan square theta. You have already well aware about this fact. Now here again I am going to substitute Z1 Z2 and Z1 square. So you can see here in this side I have, now Z1 square is going to come here, so Z1 square plus Z2 square, so again I have R square, Z1 square and Z1 square is going to cancel out. So now just I have to worry about this term Z1 Z2 dot and Z2 Z1 dot. If you substitute this term, then now you can see from this dynamics that Z1 dot equal to alpha Z1. So now I have alpha Z1 square and minus beta Z1 Z2. Again what happens, in this side I have beta Z1 square, and after that I have alpha Z1 Z2. Then could you please tell me that which term is going to become cancel? Now in this case I have Z1 Z2 square and Z2 Z1 square. Anyone? If I will manipulate this Z1 Z2 dot and Z2 Z1 dot, it is possible to show that that term is nothing but, since Z1 and Z2 dot, so Z2 dot here if you substitute Z2 dot, then beta Z1 square plus alpha Z2 and negative, so alpha term is going to cancel out. Now in this particular case what happens, I have just negative, so beta square comes into picture, so beta square into R, so I have beta square into R square, because Z1 square plus Z2 square. So what is theta dot? Theta dot is beta. Anyone has confusion in this? Theta dot is equal to beta, not beta square, that is just beta, because I am going to multiply, so this is theta dot equal to beta. Anyone has confusion on this? So you can just, if you have confusion, then that is just one simple exercise. So what happens, now I have initially second order system, and that is reduced to very simple system, and theta dot equal to beta. And what is alpha and beta? Alpha is the real part of eigenvalue and beta is the imaginary part of the eigenvalue. Let us try to interpret this. So now I have two-dimensional quantity, that is I am telling that is Z1, Z2. And what happens that if alpha is positive, for example, you can take alpha is positive, then and try to see the solution of this. So I can also write solution like R0 and after that e power alpha t, and here solution of this theta t is theta 0 plus beta t. So as time is going to increase, theta is going to rotate because that is function of the time, and here r0 is going to increase. So what happens if you start from here and alpha is positive, then you can see that you have behavior like this. Anyone has confusion on this? Because now you can see that r is going to increase exponentially, and theta 0, suppose if you start from here and this angle is theta 0, then after that you are going to I am assuming beta is greater than 0, so I am, due to that reason I have anti-clockwise rotation, and after that you are going to diverge. So this is situation when alpha greater than 0. Now try to see that if alpha is less than 0, so if you start from here, then now that is going to shrink, and it is possible to show that shrinking is like this. So if alpha is less than 0, then whatever value of beta, finally I am going to converge to the equilibrium point, and this is called unstable focus, and this is called a stable focus. Anyone has confusion on this? Have you able to understand this or not? Anyone has confusion?
No.
Okay. Now try to see the situation when alpha equal to 0. Why I am talking that situation? Because you try to see our original problem now. Our original problem is like this. If I have just information of x1, at that time if I have designed k1 x1, then I have alpha equal to 0. Only I have imaginary part. So try to see the behavior when alpha equal to 0. So when alpha equal to 0, at that time I am going to see the behavior, and at that time from this dynamics you can see alpha equal to 0 means RT equal to R0. So whatever your initial value, now that is not going to decrease, that is going to remain constant, and you are going to rotate. It means that I have behavior now that is looks like this. So again I am going to draw that I have two axes, that is I have Z1 axis and Z2 axis, and if you go your initial condition is here, then you are going to maintain yourself on this orbit. If your behavior is here, then you are going to maintain this axis. So in this way I have always some kind of things where I am going to somehow this behavior is called oscillation. So you are going to just rotate, you never going to converge to the equilibrium point, and this is called center. So what we have seen that if alpha is negative, then only I can converge to Z1 and Z2 equal to 0. In this particular case, when I have eigenvalue that is strictly complex, at that time what happens, I cannot claim that Z1 and Z2 tending towards 0. It means that I have some kind of x1 and x2 that that is going to remains on some particular orbit. They never converge to the 0, and if that is the situation, then my objective is not fulfilled. It means that if I have just information of x1, then I cannot design control such that x1 and x2 both tending towards 0. Anyone has confusion on this? Varda, are you here?
No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No confusion, sir. Understood.
So now let us try to see the other case. So at least what we have seen, that if I have information of just position, then my objective is not satisfied. Now try to understand the other situation. Suppose now I have information of x2. Then again I am going to relook my problem. at that time x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to minus k2 into x2. That kind of things I have. Now try to see the behavior. So here second equation is fully decoupled. It means that I can able to solve this equation independently. So what is solution of this equation? Anyone? Anyone? What Ruchi? Could you please tell me what is
Yes.
solution of this equation?
So K2 should be positive.
Yeah, K2 I am assuming that is positive. So what is solution of this? Why you are thinking so much? You can just draw one line and after that,
Yes, sir, it will converge, sir.
yeah, convert. So it means that I can, without solving, I can tell that x2 tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity, because that is independent equation. And as x2 tending towards 0, it means that x1 dot tending towards 0. So I have x1 dot that is going to tending towards 0. So what one can conclude from this? X1 dot tending towards 0, then what is value of x1? Nidhi, could you please tell me that if x1 tending towards 0, then what is value of x1?
X1 tending towards 0, sir. Then, sir,
What is value of x1 dot tending towards 0? Because x2 tending towards 0, it means that
yes,
now I have to substitute here that x2, because x2 is not perfectly 0 but tending towards 0. So you can
yes,
assume that is 0. And now I have equation that is x1 dot tending towards 0. Because x2 tending towards 0, so I can write x1 dot tending towards 0 because I know that x2 tending towards 0. So now I have differential algebraic equation. One differential equation, another is algebraic equation. So x1 dot tending towards 0. So what one can comment about x1?
X1 will be unmovable. Means,
So mathematically, could you please tell me?
X1,
The velocity is 0.
Velocity
sir,
is 0, that is perfect. But what about position?
X1 will remain at the position.
At 0.
It means that
maximum
x1 is either 0 or constant.
or
Is it?
constant. Yes, sir.
It means that I cannot conclude exactly that x1 equal to 0 because this might be any constant. Due to that reason, I cannot claim perfectly this is 0 provided x1 equal to 0. Now try to see, suppose you have this differential equation and if x1 that is not equal to 0, then what is solution? Abhishek,
So constant.
please comment
So
about the
constant
solution
value.
of this.
A constant value, sir.
Yeah, constant value. So only one solution if x1 equal to 0, but we have already assumed that x1 is non-zero. Due to that reason, if you just design controller that is based on the information of second state or information of velocity, again I cannot able to comment that x1 and x2 both tending towards 0. Anyone has confusion on this? So now question
No,
is
sir.
that whenever I want to design control, I need the information of both state. Okay, but what is my difficulty? I have either information of x1 or I have information of x2. So now question is that is it possible to measure the information of unmeasurable state if I have some measurable information of measurable state? So now I am going to state the problem. Again I have same system I am going to take. So in this whole lecture I am just going to talk about second order system, and after that I will generalize. If you are able to understand the problem from this particular system, you are able to generalize the problem. So what I am telling, suppose I have information of x1. So I have information of x1, I have information of control, because whenever we are talking about control, we are assuming that control is known to us for all t greater than equal to t0, or whenever you are going to start your experiment. So now question is that using x1 information, using u information, is it possible to estimate the information of x2. So now, is it possible to estimate the x2 from the information of, so I have information, following information. So first information, I know the output. Second, I know the control. Third thing, that I also know this dynamics. So now I am going to search the solution of this particular problem, that is it possible to estimate the x2 from the given informations, and I have just 3 different informations. And in order to look this problem, that this is somehow the problem, some kind of physical problem. After that, what Kalman has shown, that if you have linear system, and suppose if form of linear system is like this, x dot equal to ax plus bu, and in general case you can also take at bt here, that doesn't matter, but for simplicity I am going to take linear time invariant system, LTI system, and suppose y equal to cx is our output, and here if x belongs to Rn, u belongs to Rm, and u belongs to Rm, and y belongs to Rp. So I have this kind of situation. So it is possible to show that from the output, and using the information of control and output, and if I know the dynamics, and here what happens, that I am assuming that this p, number p, is lesser than number of n. So from the lesser number I have to estimate larger number. So somehow I have to estimate all states, and Kalman has shown that if rank of this particular matrix C, Ca, Ca square, and up to Can minus 1, if this rank of this matrix equal to n, then it is possible to show that from this output information and control information I can able to estimate all states variable. So let us first try to see. So without proof I have stated this, and now try to see your system. So in your system, if you see carefully, then you have system like x dot equal to x1 dot equal to x2. So I have somehow system like this, 0x and plus 0 into u, like this, and I have information of output y. I am assuming that just I have information of dx1, so I can able to write like this. Anyone has confusion on this representation? Because I am assuming that I have same car, and car is moving in disturbance free environment, there is no friction force is there, and mass of car is unity, then I have expressed system like this. I am assuming that I have some way, some sensor to measure the position. So I have this kind of dynamics. So this matrix is A, this matrix is B, this matrix is C. So now in this particular system, since here x belongs to R2, so I have to make sure that rank of this particular matrix C and CA, that should be 2. So just I have to make sure about this. So try to see. C I know that is 1 0, and CA. So CA means I have to multiply this matrix with this. So R1 into C1, that is 0, and R1 into C2, that is 1. It means that if you see this matrix, this particular matrix, so this matrix can be written like this. I can write this matrix as 1 0 0 1, like this. So could you please tell me that what is rank of this matrix? What is rank of this matrix? Karthikeya? What is rank of this matrix? Kartikeya, are you here?
Yes, sir. Identity.
So what is
Hello?
rank of this matrix?
Hello?
How?
Hello? आवाज आ रही है सर?
What is rank of this matrix? Could you please tell me? Do you know how to calculate the rank of any matrix? Ruchi, could you please comment what is rank of this matrix?
Sir, 2.
2. So Kartikeya, please revise how to calculate rank of matrix. So this is 2. Now you can see that I have 2 states and rank of this matrix is 2. It means that will satisfy the Kalman test. It means, what does it mean? That using information of x1, I can able to understand everything about the system. And what is another thing that I do not know, that is velocity. So using information of position, I can able to estimate the velocity. Now try to again relook problem when I have just information about the velocity. And in this particular case, you can see here that I have y, that is nothing but 0, 1, x1, x2. So now I am assuming that I have information of velocity. And again, I am going to do same kind of analysis. I am going to check the rank of same matrix. So I am going to check the rank of C and CA. So here you can, and I have to make sure that rank of this matrix is full. So this is 0, 1, and if you multiply C with A, and A is nothing but 0, 1, 0, 0. So could you please tell me what is multiplication of CA? R1 into C1, so that is 0, and R1 into C2, that is 0. So Vardha, could you please tell me that what is rank of this matrix?
So 1.
1. So it means that if you have information of x2, then this will not satisfy the Kalman test. So conclusion is that if you have information of velocity, then from velocity you are unable to measure the position, and that is justified. Why that is justified, that assumption? I will tell you that if x1 dot equal to x2 and you know the x2, then is it possible to calculate x1 uniquely? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
You can see here it is difficult. Why it is difficult? Because if I do not know the initial condition of x1, then because if you solve this in this particular indefinite integral, at that time I have integration plus some constant c. Suppose if I am not going to talk about definite integral, so at
Yes.
that time I do not know c, and due to that reason, if you know x2, then I cannot able to calculate x1 uniquely. If you know x2, I cannot do that. But suppose if you know x1, then derivative of some quantity, and derivative is local quantity. Due to that reason, that is always unique. Due to that reason, we are telling that if I know x1, then I know I am able to calculate x2. Anyone has confusion on this? So that is physical interpretation, and that is the mathematical way to checking same thing. So in this way, it is confirmed that if I have information of x1, then I can able to calculate the information of x1 and x2 both. But if I have just x2, then I cannot do anything. Okay, anyone has confusion on this? Now, from the theory, at least I understood this. So once I understood that, if I have information of, it means that my problem is now like this: x dot equal to, I have 0, 1, 0, 0, this matrix, x plus 0, 1 u, and y equal to 1, 0. Then this problem is using the information of this output and control, theoretically I can tell that I have information of x. So now how to calculate x, that is another problem, and that is called design problem. So if using output and control, if I am able to estimate all states, then system is called observable. So I am telling that my system is observable with respect to this particular sensor output, or I have sensor with respect to that sensor. If I just put one sensor, then using that sensor it is possible that at least I can observe the other state. So I have to design some kind of observer. So next topic is now how to design observer. And this problem is actually classically solved by one of the famous researcher, and his name is Leuenberger. And this observer is also called on the respect of his name, that is Leuenberger observer. So in today's lecture, first I am going to start with this simple observer, that is Leuenberger observer, and this observer is very simple or very much elegant. And if you see the theory of observer, then that is dominated by at least 75% observer is actually dominated by this construction, same construction like Leuenberger. So what is idea of Leuenberger? He was telling that suppose if you have dynamics x1 dot equal to x2 plus u. So what you can do, since you are not knowing the exact value of x2, you are just knowing x1. In this our problem, I am just knowing the x1. So what you can do, you first do the copy of the dynamics. So I am going to do the copy of this particular dynamics, and copy of this dynamics is like this: x1 dot equal to x2 cap and x2 cap equal to u. Because I am assuming control is exactly known to me, due to that reason I am assuming that whatever control I have applied here, same control is here. What happens, since x1 is known to you but you do not know x2, due to that reason I cannot tell that whatever solution of this particular copied equation, that is exactly equal to solution of this original equation. So this is my original system and this is copied system. Now what I am going to do, that I am going to do certain kind of correction in this particular copied system, and I am going to do correction in such a way such that after the very large time I am going to show that this copied system start behaving like the original system. So what is idea? He was telling that you can add, since this and this system is not exactly equivalent, so whatever information you have, you try to add that information here, that is called correction term. So I am going to add y1, and here you can see that here this is approximate. So what I am telling here, in this particular representation I have x1, and after that I have x1 cap here. So x1 is the original state and x1 cap is the estimate of that particular known state. Similarly I have L2, so x1 is the original state and x1 cap is the estimated state. So whatever cap variable, that is estimated variable. So I have original variable x1 x2, I know x1 but I do not know x2. You try to see that whenever I am designing correction term, I am going to use just known term, and when x1, that is known term, because I have knowledge of this, due to that reason if certain variation with respect to x1 I am able to detect it, but I do not have knowledge of x2, so I cannot detect anything. So once x1 is exactly equal to x1 cap, at that time you can see that this correction term equal to 0, both correction term equal to 0, and at that time I can tell that since x1 and x1 cap is exactly equal, so x2 cap is also equal to original state x2. So I have to show. So whenever you are designing this correction term, so these two terms are called correction term. So what is actually basic philosophy? Philosophy is quite simple. You can copy the dynamics. After that, you can add the correction term. Whenever you are adding the correction term, please be careful that whatever information you have, try to add that particular correction term only. Do not add those quantity which is not known to you. Now, after that, what is our aim? Our aim of this is to design correction term. So aim is basically like this: design L1 L2 such that I can able to give guarantee that x1 is tending towards x1 cap and x2 is tending towards x2 cap. So that is our aim. So now try to see that it means that I have two parameters L1 and L2. I can select L1 and L2 such a way such that I am telling that whatever copied dynamics and whatever original dynamics, that is exactly equal after very large time. So it means that I have to define some kind of error between these two dynamics, and error variable E1 I am going to define, that is x1 minus x1 cap, or you can also define in the another way x1 cap minus x1. That doesn't matter, that is not going to alter my analysis. So x2 minus x2 cap. So in this way I have defined the error, and since x1 and x2 cap both are changing with respect to time, and due to that reason you are able to calculate their rate of change also. So I am going to talk about E1 dot, that is nothing but x1 dot minus x1 cap dot, and try to see now what is x1 dot. So x1 dot is the original dynamics, so that is x2, but this x1 cap is the copied dynamics with some kind of correction. So try to see here that now x1 cap dot is x2 cap minus L1 x1 minus x1 cap, and we have already defined this as a error E1, and due to that reason I am going to write like this: I have x2 cap and plus, actually negative sign will come, minus L1, and I have E1. Now try to see here that these two terms, particularly if you see these two terms, that is nothing but again that is some kind of error dynamics, and if that is error dynamics, so I can write this as a E2 minus L1 into E1. Anyone has confusion up to here? Anyone? Okay.
No.
If you do not have confusion, then try to now see the second term, that is E2 dot. So E2 dot I have defined x2 minus x2 dot. Here you can see x2 minus x2 dot. So basically now I have x2 dot minus x2 cap dot, and x2 cap is nothing but u, and here x2 cap, if you see carefully, then again that is u, this u minus correction term L2 into x1 minus x1 cap, and x1 minus x1 cap is again E1. So I can write that minus u minus L2 into, so minus u minus L2 into E1. I can write like this, and now you can see that these two quantities cancel out, so I have L2 into E1. Now what you can do, you can write in form of matrix. So in form of matrix I can able to express the whole system like this. I have E dot, that is E1 E2, and here you can see that I have minus L1, so minus L1 1, and after that minus L2 0, and this whole quantity is nothing but E1 E2. So this is also you can write in similar way, E1 E2. So now I have combined system like this, and I have already told you that this gain L1 and L2 in our hand, I can select it. So could you please tell me that how to select L1, L2 such that E1 and E2 tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity? So our aim, now first try to write the aim. So aim is just now design or select, aim is select Li where I is 1, 2 such that E1 tending towards 0 and E2 tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity. Why I am telling that? Because if E1 and E2 both tending towards 0, in this particular case you can see that x1 is exactly equal to x1 cap, x2 is exactly equal to x2 cap, and once x1 is exactly equal to x1 cap, at that time this correction term equal to 0. So and x1 cap is exactly equal to x1 and x2 cap is exactly equal to x2. So these two dynamics become exactly equal. And if these two dynamics become exactly equal, it means that I have information of x1 and x2 both. So now just what is our aim? Our aim is to design L1 and L2 such that E1 and E2 both tending towards 0. So now could you please, Ruchi, could you please comment that how to select L1 and L2 such that E1 and E2 tending towards 0?
Sir, eigenvalue of this matrix
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be
So very,
negative
very
and
simple. You can just concentrate on the eigenvalue of this particular matrix such that if eigenvalue is strictly negative, or at least if eigenvalue is complex, then their complex real part of the complex number, if that is negative, because just now we have seen that if complex number, if complex eigenvalue of some complex matrix is alpha plus j beta plus minus j beta, and if alpha is less than 0, then we have behavior like this. Finally we converge to the equilibrium point. So if I will select eigenvalue that is strictly negative, or if that is complex, then real part of the complex number, if that is negative, then also E1 and E2 both converge to 0 asymptotically. So now problem is pretty easy. I have to just select eigenvalue of A, either that is strictly negative or their real part. So real part of the eigenvalue of A, that should be less than 0. So that is the design problem. In this way you are able to design the observer for the second order system. So now let us try to see, after designing, now try to understand that this is your system. So this is equation of the observer, because once you design L1 and L2, then substitute that L1 and L2 value, numerical value of L1 and L2 here, and run your computer program. So when you run your computer program, at that time, now since x2 cap and x1 cap you are assuming, so you can take x1 and x2 cap as anything. There is no need to take the exact value, because this is copied. Copied means I have equation is only going to copy, but I can give any initial condition, because in order to solve any differential equation you need the initial condition. So you can take any initial condition, and after that you are able to solve this problem. Anyone has confusion? So this particular equation is nothing but equation of Leuenberger observer. So this is equation of observer. So in this observer L1 and L2 I am going to select based on the aerodynamics, and once I will couple here, then after asymptotically it is possible to show that whatever value of x1 cap, that is exactly equal to x1, whatever value of x2 cap, that is exactly equal to x2. In this way I can able to now estimate the value of the second state, and once you have estimation, then now you can able to design the control. Since I am assuming that I have already information of one state, so I can now tell that I can design control like this: x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to minus k1 x1 minus k2 and x2 cap. So this is our control. because x2 is not known, exactly known to me. Due to that reason, everywhere you have to write x2 cap. And now what you can do for further analysis means how to design k1 and k2 and what kind of property that will satisfy, that is called separation principle. Means you have to make sure that whatever your observer dynamics, that should be relatively more faster than the controller, because first you have to observe the state, then only you are able to design the control. And how to maintain that kind of things, that is basically discussed in lecture number 32. So you can just check my YouTube channel, and where course name is E313, and in that particular lecture I have given detailed discussion how to maintain that kind of property. So that I am not going to discuss in this particular lecture, just I am going to give you the idea that how to talk about linear observer. Okay, how to design linear observer. So up to here, anyone has confusion, then please let me know. Anyone? Okay, now try to understand some more difficulty level. What happens that most of time my system is not so much simple like this: x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to ut. But I have certain kind of uncertainty also, because try to take again same example. You have car and you have to move this car from one point to point A to point B. I have friction force, I have some kind of effect of weather, lot of quantity which is not known to me, and due to that reason always disturbance comes into picture. Now try to again design the observer, and again my statement of problem is like this: I have information of x1, and try to see that if you design Leuenberger observer in case of this uncertainty, and again I am assuming that this uncertainty is bounded less than equal to g uh, uh, d0. So maximum value of this uncertainty for all t, that is less than d0. Now I am going to construct the observer, and now at least you are able to understand that how to construct observer. If some system is given, you have to first copy it. So I am going to do copy of this x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to now u. Now could you please tell me that is it possible to incorporate this term during the observer design or not? Anyone? Am I able to write
Sir,
like
no,
this?
sir.
During
Uh,
copy, is it possible to write like this?
yes, sir.
It is not possible because disturbance is not known to
Sir,
me.
because
Disturbance is
unknown.
unknown.
Yes, sir.
No
And due to
possible.
that reason, I cannot able to incorporate this term during the observer, because this system is running inside the computer. And what we are telling that if I run this system, then after large time whatever response of this system, that is going to match to the original system. And due to that reason I cannot able to take any quantity which is unknown, because I have to run this system, I have to simulate this system, I have to obtain the response of this system. And due to that reason, those things which is not known to me, I cannot able to put. I know the control, and due to that reason, because controller and observer is running simultaneously most of time, and we have already seen that if I have some kind of information x2 cap, so control we are designing like this, and due to that reason we are telling u is known to me, so I can substitute. Now you can again add the same correction term whatever way we have done. So x2 cap, and here x1 minus x1 cap, and same correction term I am going to add. Now try to see the dynamics. Now if you see the closed loop dynamics, again I am going to define the error. So, and I am going to define error in exactly similar way. So E1 equal to x1 minus x1 cap, and E2 I am going to define, that is x2 minus x2 cap. So similar way I have defined. And now if you select E1 dot, you can see that upper term remains the same, So E2 plus E2 minus L2 into E1. Now I have modification with respect to second, because if you do x2, so x2 is u plus dt, so dt is going to comes into picture, and u is going to cancel out, and after that L2 into E1. So now I have closed loop dynamics in terms of error. So this is also called error dynamics, because whatever gain I am going to obtain, that is I am going to obtain based on the error dynamics only. Now could you please comment that is it possible to show that E1 and E2 both tending towards 0? Anyone? Is it possible to comment? And if not, then why? Varda, could you please comment why error, why I cannot tell that error tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity, where each
No,
Sir, in
no
the second
control
equation,
term.
E2 dot, uh, sir, second equation, E1 is involved. So,
here I have one. You can see here that since I have disturbance, and if I have disturbance, we have already seen, again try to see like this. Why I am not able to claim, I can able to see means in a straightforward way. You can apply some kind of transformation like this, T into E, where T is some kind of 2 cross 2 matrix, constant matrix, and Z dot equal to T into E dot, and I have T and E dot. You can express this quantity as a and this as a B, some quantity like this. So I have now A E plus B into dt like this, and now I have TA, and in place of E now I am going to substitute T inverse into Z plus TB into dt. So now you can see that I can select this L1 and L2 such that whatever eigenvalue of this particular matrix, eigenvalue of A, that is strictly negative, I can select. So I can select lambda 1 and lambda 2 such that this is strictly negative, and I have already told you that after transformation eigenvalue remains the same. So I have a structure like this, Z plus here, but you can see that now T is somehow 2 cross 2 matrix, and due to that reason, if you multiply this, then T1 and T2 kind of things comes into picture into dt. So now I have system like this, Z1 dot equal to lambda 1 Z1 plus T1 into dt. Similarly, I have Z2 equal to lambda 2 Z2 plus T2 into dt. So I have this kind of situation. Now suppose that if you select lambda 1 as a negative, some kind of large negative value, if you select this as a negative, so I have situation from, again you can analyze using the Newton's way, that you can assume that this is Z1 axis. So if lambda 1 is strictly negative, there exists some range. After some time, what happens that this dynamics is going to converge towards this, but when lambda 1 Z1 that become lesser than T1 D2, at that time I have divergence kind of behavior. We have already seen about this in the first lecture. We have seen that if I have proportional control and with some kind of disturbance, then what is effect? So same kind of effect. It means that again I cannot claim that Z1 and Z2 is exactly equal to 0. So if Z1 and Z2 is not exactly 0, it means that E1 and E2 both not exactly 0. But at least I can tell that error variable is going to converge to some compact set, means closed and bounded set. Why? Because once I am here, I cannot going to leave this, and due to that reason error dynamics is going to converge to this set, and after that that is going to remain there. but exactly I cannot tell that E1 and E2 tending towards 0, as you can wait for any large time. It means that I cannot claim that x1 tending towards x1 cap and x2 tending towards x2 cap. So what is conclusion? That if I have disturbance, then I cannot claim that Leuenberger observer will work in perfect way. Okay, anyone has confusion? Have you able to understand this point or not? Because somehow I have to justify that why I am going for this sliding mode observer. Due to that reason, we are looking towards the points. So what we have observed that if I have disturbance, even if bounded disturbance, Leuenberger observer is not insensitive with respect to that class of disturbance, and due to that reason we have to search something more. Another idea is like this, that is called high gain observer. That is high gain observer, because we have already seen that whenever something will not work, simple proportional controller will not work, but if I have high gain controller, then that work completely fine. One more important thing, since observer is always running inside the computer, due to that reason, and what is observer dynamics? This is the observer dynamics. So please be careful that most of time students start telling error as a observer dynamics, but this is observer dynamics. This kind of things I have to write inside the computer, because you can see that everything is known. X1, L1 is known to you, L2 is known to you, U is known to you, and X1 you are assuming that you have knowledge of one state X1, and these two are unknown. So you can take any initial condition x1 and x2 cap, and after that you can write the computer program, so you can able to run. And in computer there is no restriction, or there is no situation like actuator saturation, means you are able to put any large gain here, and that is the idea of the high gain observer. So what high gain observer is suggesting, that try to keep L1 and L2 very large, such that in presence of disturbance also that will work. So let us try to see the high gain observer. And what is suggestion? Suggestion is like this. Again, you can write the error dynamics. So error dynamics remains the same. So now my error dynamics, I am going to write the error dynamics. So error dynamics, directly I am going to write from error dynamics. So I have E1 dot, that is nothing but I have E2 minus L1 into E1, and after that I have E2 dot, and after that I have this E2 dot is again minus L2 into E2 and plus dt. This kind of error dynamics I have. So I have just copied this, because what we have seen, that if I have just finite gain, if I select gain L1 and L2 that is a small, at that time eigenvalue might be a small, and if eigenvalue is a small, at that time this band I cannot able to reduce this band, because if this term is going to dominate over this term, then what happens, that band size is larger. So I have to select largest, or we have to select very large negative value, such that this term lambda 1 z1 that is dominate over this term t1 and dt. So now question is that how to select lambda 1 and lambda 2, such that I can claim that if that is very large, then Leuenberger observer still work, or still they will give whatever band of error that is become smaller, very small, such that I can assume that reasonably I can able to estimate the state. So for that, again I am going to start from the error dynamics. So I am going to design observer exactly like
Sir,
this.
sir, in second equation minus L2 E1.
L2 E1, yeah, okay. So I will do that correction. Okay, so here I have E1. Okay, thank you very much. So now I have basically this is E1. Now is it fine? Okay, so now you can
Yes.
see here that what I'm going to do, I have to introduce some kind of high gain observer, and I am assuming that there exists certain kind of transformation Z1, and where E1 by epsilon I am telling in this way, and where epsilon is basically greater than 0, and that is very small quantity, and whatever Z2 that is exactly equal to E2. So that kind of transformation I am going to introduce. And in terms of epsilon, I am going to select the L1 and L2. That is our aim. So try to convert your dynamics in this particular form. So you can see here that Z1 dot is nothing but E1 dot, and epsilon I have assumed that is a constant. And E1 dot, if you see the equation of E1 dot, that is E2 minus L1 into E1 by epsilon. So I can also able to rearrange this term like epsilon Z1 dot equal to, and E2 in place of E2 I have Z2, so I am going to write Z2 minus, now you can see that in place of E1 I have to write everything in terms of Z1 because I am performing the transformation. So due to that reason, that is epsilon and L1 into Z1. Anyone has confusion on this? I have just substituted E1, and E1 is nothing but I have defined E1 as a epsilon into Z1. So this I am expressing system in this form. Why I am expressing? Because I have to establish relation between L1 and L2. Now try to see the second dynamics. So second dynamics I have Z2 equal to E2. So due to that reason I have now Z2 dot, that is nothing but E2 dot, and E2 dot, if you see, that is L2 into E1 and plus dt. I have this kind of situation, and I know what is E1, so I am going to write that is L2, and E1 I have just seen that E1 is epsilon into Z1, so I am going to substitute that epsilon into Z1 and plus dt. Now in order to maintain consistency, because I have to reject the disturbance, so somehow if I am telling that disturbance should be rejected, then that should be multiplied with epsilon, and due to that reason what I am going to do, I am going to multiply both sides by epsilon, and here L2 into epsilon square Z1, and after that I have epsilon into dt. Anyone has confusion on this? What I have done, in order to maintain consistency, here initially my state is E1 E2. Now what I am going to do, I am going to convert this E1 into Z1 Z2. Okay, so first stage is Z1 dot multiplied by epsilon. So in order to maintain consistency, I have selected second one also, that is multiplied by epsilon. Now from this equation and this equation, so first what you can do, you can collect both equations together, then things become, then you are able to think how to select. So what happens, that now I have epsilon Z1 dot equal to, try to rewrite this dynamics, Z2 I have Z2 minus L1, and after that I have epsilon Z1, so epsilon Z1, this kind of things, and I have epsilon Z2, that is minus L2 epsilon squared Z1 and plus epsilon dti. So what I am telling now, that I want to select L1 such that this will give us some finite number. Similarly, I am going to select L2 such that this will give us some kind of finite number. So from here, one thing is pretty much clear, that if I select epsilon L1 equal to alpha 1, then I can tell that basically this L1 is nothing but alpha 1 by epsilon, and it is possible to select second term, that is nothing but epsilon square L2 That is, if you select alpha 2, then you are able to see that L2 is nothing but alpha 2 by epsilon square. So in this way, if I will do this selection, then alpha 1 and alpha 2 is some kind of finite number, because then only you are able to show the convergence. Due to that reason, I am going to select this. So now try to see the dynamics. So by doing proper selection of this, I have epsilon z1 dot, and after that z2. Now I have alpha 1 into z1. From here I have substituted this particular selected value of gain here and here. So after that, now I have z2 minus alpha 1, and after that here I have epsilon z2 and again alpha 2 with negative sign into z1 plus epsilon dt. Now what you can do, you try to substitute the condition. Since you are going to use very high gain, so I am going to impose epsilon tending towards 0, means limit epsilon tending towards 0. So if you put that kind of limit here, so could you please tell me what is the resultant dynamics if I substitute this kind of assumption that I am going to select epsilon that is very small, then what is my dynamics? Anyone?
Z1 and Z2 tends to 0.
Because this tending towards 0, this
Yes,
tending
yes,
towards
yes.
0, it means that I have just z2
Z2
equal to
equals to alpha 1 Z1.
so approximated I have to write perfectly. If I will write, then that is not mathematically consistent alpha z1, and after that from here what you can conclude from second equation?
Alpha 2 Z1 is equals to 0.
Alpha 2 z1 that is equal to 0, and these two are finite numbers. You can see these two are finite numbers I have selected. So what does second equation, algebraic equation, will implies?
Disturbance
Z1
term
tending
is
to Z.
Perfectly nullify, but from here I can able to tell z1 tending towards 0 or not. Alpha 2 is number
Yes, sir.
and z1, so z1 tending towards 0, and once z1 tending towards 0, so at the same time this also implies that z2 tending towards 0. So in this way I can able to claim that z1 tending towards 0 and z2 tending towards 0. So now once z1 tending towards 0 and z2 tending towards 0, then what I can tell? E1 tending towards 0 and E2 tending towards 0. And once E1 tending towards 0 and E2 tending towards 0, what I can claim? That x1 is perfectly able to estimate x1 cap. x2 is perfectly able to estimate x2 cap. So in this way, by designing very high gain, it is possible to show that in presence of some kind of bounded disturbance, Leuenberger observer will also work, and this is called high gain observer. But still one more thing is lacking. What is that? Whatever process I am telling, that is again asymptotically I am telling. I do not know at what time this kind of convergence occur, but at least high gain observer will work completely fine. So if you are working on power electronics power system, you can design this kind of observer. That is not a problem. Only issue is that I cannot able to tell that when estimation is going to start. So due to that reason, if you are going to track about the time also, then I need sliding mode observer. So in next class I am going to, so next, what is our objective? That I have to make sure that E1 and E2 equal to 0 for all t greater than equal to t. So I am telling that in finite time and in presence of disturbance also, in presence of bounded disturbance d0, then only I can tell that next observer is better than high gain observer. And whenever you are using high gain, then one kind of difficulty comes into picture. That is another difficulty. In this class I am not going to mention, because I do not want to confuse you. So what we have seen till now, that I have some system And if system is linear, then using Kalman test, first we are checking that system is observable or not. So if system is observable with respect to some state, then using that help of that state, I can able to design Leuenberger observer. But what is difficulty of Leuenberger observer? If I have certain kind of disturbance, then using Leuenberger observer, I cannot able to exactly estimate the other states. And due to that reason, we have defined another observer that is called Huygens observer. But again, I have one difficulty that I cannot able to track about the time, that at what moment finite at what moment I can tell that whatever observer dynamics and whatever real dynamics, that is exactly equal. It means that exactly I am able to estimate the uncertainty, and due to that reason we come up with the next observer that is called sliding mode observer. And in the next class I will tell you that same problem can be solved using super twisting algorithm. And using super twisting algorithm, it is possible to show that E1 and E2 equal to 0 in finite time in case of bounded uncertainty, and in finite time we are able to observe the unknown states. So that is basically basic motivation of the sliding mode observer. So now it is time to conclude the today's lecture. So what we have seen in today's lecture, that if I have only fewer number of states, then what kind of difficulty we are facing during the controller design. So I have taken very simple system, second order system. Why I haven't taken the first order system? Because in first order system I have only one state, and if I have no knowledge of the system, I cannot do anything. So at least I have knowledge of parts, some partial knowledge I have. And if I have some partial knowledge, then using that knowledge, now question is that is it possible to gather the full knowledge of the system? And if your system is linear, it is possible to show that if you place sensor in some proper way or proper sensor, then you are able to estimate the unmeasurable state. And how to do that? So for that you have to design observers, and one of the basic observer is Leuenberger observer. And but what is difficulty of Leuenberger observer? That observer will not work if you have some kind of disturbance, and due to that reason I have introduced the Huygens observer. And again, that is not rated observer. Rated observer means I cannot able to track on the time, and due to that reason sliding mode observer is required. So with this remark, I am going to close today's lecture from my side. Now it is your turn. If you have any confusion, then please let me know. Anyone? So Abhishek, are you able to understand the
Yes, sir.
motivation?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Ruchi?
Yes, sir.
So now do you have some kind of information about the observer? You are able to understand
Yes, sir.
actually why observer is required, how to construct observer, simple construction, and this construction
Yes,
is
sir.
very much elegant. If you see any observer, even if you will go to Kalman filters or extended Kalman filter, you are able to see same kind of construction. So Varda,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No
So,
doubt.
so actually you are working on power electronics, and power electronics, this kind of problem is very much common, because we try to actually most of time we have very fewer number of states. So we have to estimate the other states. So you try to look into Huygens observer or these kind of concepts also. So
Yes,
now,
sir.
now if you do not have any question, then I am going to close the today's lecture, and again tomorrow I will continue the sliding mode observer. So thank you very much.